Welcome to the Afterspin, opinions from thought leaders in our state. I want to ask Chris Fitzsimon and John Hood, when the legislature mandated that public schools teach a course, a required course on economics and personal finance before children could graduate, to accommodate this, students now are only going to have to take one U.S. history course instead of the current two. Your reaction to this, Chris?
Well, I don't like it. I think that I'm all for financial literacy. We've got to figure out another way to do that. The legislature has decided to do it this way. But I think reducing the amount of history that we learn is not in anybody's best interest. In fact, I wish we could have more classes on history. I think we need more emphasis on North Carolina history. I think
Definitely.
Most of our kids graduate from high school and don't know much about what's happened in our state. Now they're going to graduate and know less about what's happening in our country. I'm all for financial literacy. There's got to be a better way to do it.
John, if we're going to do that, and I think there's probably pretty good agreement that we need to teach more history in our schools, what do you do? What do you eliminate?
Well, this is the nature of the issue. It is easy to say we've got to teach more math, we've got to teach more history, we've got to teach more science.
English.
We're a technology society, people need to understand. It's all true, but there's a limited amount of time during the day. I would have agreed with Chris's take, and did agree with it initially, until I looked more closely at how they're reorganizing the 4 high school classes. So there used to be a world, 2 US's, and then the civics class. Well, by adding the economics and financial literacy, they had to remove one of the U.S. history units. But what they've done is they've taken the civics and expanded the part of that really is U.S. history. So I'm now thinking this is a somewhat, if you're going to make this priority, and something's got to give because you have a limited amount of class hours during high school, I think this now is a workable plan.
The one thing I haven't heard in this discussion is maybe we should expand the number of hours our kids are going to school. Maybe we should expand the school year like other countries do.
A lot of people have pointed out the idea that most people get off work at 5 and our school day ends at 3. For example, we have school facilities that are sitting vacant and not being used. I think that's worth talking about. That's a much bigger deal, obviously.
And just from a personal point of view, talk about history. I'm concerned about North Carolina history. I think they get,
well, I agree, but
7th grade, that's it?
They teach that in the earlier grades. They teach history a number of times in the earlier grades. My point is simply this about the longer school day, longer school year. There just isn't a lot of evidence that it consistently correlates with higher performance.
But you get more instruction time.
Right. So the point is, are you going to get more instruction time in order to provide essentially free child care, or is it going to increase academic performance? That's the question.
I'm going to increase teaching history courses personally. That's my solution to that. But I will say that this consolidation you're talking about civics, I'm not sure that even the civics credits courses we're teaching kids that much about government and how it works.
Well, that's literally what the course is.
I got that.
It's a whole year, and they're recasting it to emphasize the U.S. history component.
We could add 30 minutes to the school day and play NC Spin, which would be very...
Every day?
You know,
wow.
Chris, you do come up with good ideas from time to time.
And that's North Carolina history and civics right there.
Right there, every week. Well, thank you for watching the Afterspin. We'll have more video all during the week on ncspin.com.